Hey everyone, welcome to Scrappers Detailing. Today I have my first repeat customer. They were so happy with the work I did on their Impala a couple of months ago, they brought me their 2011 Hyundai Sonata to revive. I'm going to be taking this Sonata from this to this. Stick around to see how I was able to create this extreme transformation. This leads me to my question for the video. How much would someone have to pay you to transform a vehicle like this? Let me know in the comments below. The first thing I do in my details is disconnect the battery. It's important because I don't want to create a short when I disconnect the seats and when I clean the consoles. I also have the doors open for a long time, and I have had a vehicle whose battery went dead when I first started this journey. Once that step is completed, I work to get the seats out. Now, almost every vehicle is the same for this process. There are 2 bolts in the front and 2 in the back that you have to remove. Many times they're covered by pieces of trim that can be removed in different ways. Just be very careful when you remove them because the plastic tabs holding them in place are very easy to break. Unfortunately, I know this from personal experience. The size of the bolts can vary from vehicle to vehicle. The bolts in this Sonata require a 14mm socket to remove. This is easy to do with basic hand tools. With the bolts removed comes the hardest part, disconnecting the seat sensors under the seat. Most seats have anywhere from 2 to 4 cables that will need to be disconnected. There's quite a few different types of connectors, with each of them having different ways of disconnecting. Take your time with these, as you definitely don't want to break one or you're going to be in a world of hurt. The last part is the hardest. It's removing the black clips that hold the wires to the seats. These need to be pressed together from the top where they are attached. With everything disconnected, I lift the seats out, and now we can see just how much filth has found its way down to the floor. The first cleaning step is to clean up as much of the large garbage that I can. My shop vac has a 2.5-inch hose that can handle quite a bit, but I don't want to deal with a clogged hose, and I make sure to keep any items that the owner thinks they may have lost under the seats. With those items cleaned up, I proceed to vacuum up as much of the filth as I can. The vacuuming step is the one step that I tell customers that they could do at home that would take care of 90% of the issues with their dirty interiors. Now, it won't solve everything for them, but it will make a huge difference in the look of their vehicle. You don't even have to pull your seats like I do in this step. Just take 20 to 30 minutes once per month, and your car is going to look about 95% better than the others on the road. I had to break out the lily brush to remove the pet hair that was embedded. Fortunately, this is actually some above average carpet, so the hair came out really well. This is a very cheap tool that anyone could buy to use on their personal vehicle. I have this link below along with all the other items I use in this detail. These are affiliate links that will help to support the channel at no additional cost to you. I'm also pulling out the tornado to kick my cleaning up a notch. This isn't a tool that you necessarily need. It's a little more expensive. The lily brush will run you about $15, but the tornado is going to run you about $65 to $70. This tool just makes my job so much easier. This center console was completely loaded with everything imaginable. I made sure to get out all of the owner's personal items and store them away safely. Then I vacuumed all the dog hair that I found at the bottom. The cup holders and the rest of the storage areas in the console were filled with chips, dust, and garbage that I was easily able to get taken care of. The final part of this step is to use the tornado one last time to blow off all the trim and hidden areas along the carpet edges. I'm really glad I did this. You'll notice that when I blow off the dash in front of the steering wheel, the air kind of sparkles. Yeah, there was glitter tucked into the tight areas of the front. This forced me to do another quick vacuum of the whole vehicle. Now we move on to the more specialized cleaning. I'm using my P&S fabric cleaning products on the flooring to bring them back to factory condition. I sprayed the chemicals onto the carpet, hit them with my steamer, and then agitated them with my drill brush. I made sure to let the chemicals dwell to work their magic. Finally, I suck up all the dirty solution with my Bissell to leave them looking and smelling great. I call this a more specialized step because it would require an owner to go out and purchase some chemicals that they might not use that often. You definitely don't need all the fancy equipment that I'm using. Just the chemicals, a stiff bristle brush, and some microfiber towels would do the trick. I'm giving you a more close-up view of this process. I thought the ridge in between the rear footwells would be a little bit dirtier than it was, but the Bissell was able to pull up some dirty cleaning solution on the first couple of passes. I also show how I have started wiping with microfiber towels after the extractor to remove as much liquid as possible and speed up the drying process. The extraction process was uneventful until I reached the front passenger footwell. It's quite surprising what I pull from this front floor well. In fact, I recorded myself talking in a little bit, and now I don't want you to click away. Don't click away when you see my face on camera. I seem to have that effect when I pop on screen, but I wanted to explain exactly what I was seeing here as I was detailing. And my retention graphs, whenever I put my face in the camera, I don't know what it is, but my retention graphs drop off pretty drastically. So just stick around and see here what I say about this floor well. Well, I thought this was going to be the easiest of the wells here to take care of, but apparently they decided to brew some coffee and dump it in here. So it's, you can see from these shots that this one's going to take a while. The other ones all went real nice and smoothly. This one, yeah, it's one thing about detailing. You never know what you're going to run into. Here's a gallon of that dirty solution I pulled out from that front well. You can't tell me that doesn't look exactly like coffee. Now that I've got that nasty passenger footwell cleaned up, I move on to these seat rails, but it doesn't get any easier here. These things might be the dirtiest ones I've seen so far. They were holding on to so much filth that you wouldn't have known about it if you didn't remove them. With them out of the vehicle, I'm able to get them completely cleaned with the vacuum, some P&S Express cleaning solution, and my steamer. Now, I am careful with the steamer because there is some grease down in the track that the seat glides in, and I don't want to completely remove that. Lastly, I'll use the Tornador to completely blow out all the dirty solution, leaving them super clean. The satisfaction in cleaning these things was off the charts. The seats were a combination of leather and fabric. This seat had some very sticky substance that had been spilled right at the base. From the looks and feel, it seemed to be some kind of syrup. The fabric itself wasn't a true cloth fabric, so I didn't use the extractor on them, but I did follow the 3-step method that does an incredible job of removing the filth. I also used the steamer to make the chemical work even better, and the drill brush to really agitate it into the fibers. The amount of filth on these microfibers as I wiped down the seat was eye-opening. I didn't think they were going to be that dirty, but again, don't trust your eyes when it comes to filth. For the leather part of the seat, I'm using some Lexol leather cleaner on my Scrub Ninja to agitate. Then I'll follow that with the steamer to really loosen up the trapped and embedded oils. The microfiber used to wipe up the grime was shockingly dirty. My final step will be to apply some Lexol leather conditioner to the seats to leave them feeling soft and supple. Now I turn my attention to all the trim inside the vehicle. Using my favorite product, PNS Express, I make sure to foam up everything with my detail brush and then wipe it up with a microfiber cloth. The trim in this Hyundai was really nice quality and it cleaned up very well. I also used some forced air to blow out the crevices to prevent any running of the cleaning solution later on. The center console doesn't look nearly as bad now as before I vacuumed it. All it needs is some cleaning solution, a brush, and the steamer to get it looking almost new again. There were some parts where the trim was actually worn through, so there wasn't much I could do about that, but I got it looking as close to new as I could. As you guys have heard me say before, these WeatherTech floor mats are absolutely awesome. I tried cleaning them here with some PNS Express cleaner, but it just didn't get them as clean as I wanted. So I do clean them once with this stuff, but then I do pull out some more potent super clean, diluted about 2-to-1, and that did a much better job of cleaning up these vinyl rubber type of floor mats. I also use some extra water to rinse them down, and then I vacuum that up with my wet vac to leave them looking like new. Even though I can't work on exteriors, I still like to make sure the door jambs are clean. There's something about opening your doors and being greeted by a clean and shiny door jamb that makes me feel the vehicle is completely clean. These jambs were a little dirtier than usual, so I sprayed them with some Express and agitated to loosen things up and wipe them down. I also purchased some new Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions 3-in-1 ceramic detailer. Now, it's probably a little overkill on an interior detail like this, but I really like the smell and feel of this product once it's applied. If you guys know of any good, inexpensive, quick detailers, put them down in the comments below. I'm always looking for tips from you guys that know more about detailing than I do, since I'm really still learning the different steps of the process. With the trim properly cleaned, it's time to restore it and give it some UV protection. My product of choice is 303 Aerospace Protectant. It's an easy product to use as you just spray some on a microfiber applicator and wipe down all your surfaces. It restores and protects your plastic and vinyl. I have this and all my other products linked in the description below. I'm not sponsored by any of them, but they are affiliate links and the channel will make a small commission if you purchase through them. This money will be put to good use as will help me to cover the cost of my wife's purse addiction. I'll finish by cleaning up the glass. One trick I learned from Larry at Ammo NYC, whose videos I recommend you check out if you haven't, was to use my Scrub Ninja to work my glass cleaner to make sure I remove all the haze and oil buildup. Then I use the squeegee and microfiber to leave them streak-free. Please ignore the mess in the background. We're in the process of getting the shop completely cleaned up. It should look completely different in the coming weeks and months. With the car completely clean, it's time to put it back together. I carefully place the seats in the vehicle and then go underneath to get the connectors back in place. This is a much easier process than taking them apart. Each connector is a little different, so you can't connect them improperly. Then I make sure that the seat is locked into the proper position and reattach the bolts using a little bit of the blue Loctite. Do not use the red Loctite, as that stuff takes heat to remove and you'll make it a nightmare for the next guy that needs to remove the seats. I always start the bolts by hand to make sure that I don't cross thread them. Then I finish them with a torque wrench so I know they are tightened to the proper torque specs.
Oh, it's
This Sonata is looking great. The owner was extremely happy and is already talking about bringing it back this summer to get the exterior done. If you found the video satisfying, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. I also have a couple more great detailing videos on the left side of the screen. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, keep it clean.